Oh yes, this is a team song that opens and closes bits and pieces. It is a 104.1 Voice of Liberia-VOL, and I'm here till 5 o'clock. But we'll take a break later to join our OB crew here in Central Monrovia for some very important discussions. And we'll come back at 3 o'clock to 5 o'clock and continue the discussion.
With liberty and justice for all.
You are welcome. Where's all you listen from? How are you listening? Like the man Veda Dilamo in Johnsonville there, we say welcome. Please join us on Facebook Live on Voice of Liberia page and share the video so that others who are listening or others who want to join us can join us via your platform as well. It promises to be very big this afternoon. Right after our OB crew, Vandala Patrick's, a Liberian activist who has been based in the United States of America. We have a discussion at one of the entertainment centers, not entertainment center, but one of the intellectual centers on crucial national issues. He has asked Voice of Liberia to bring him live. So that also forms part of our program here. Then 3 o'clock we'll come back here and continue the discussion up to 5 o'clock. Around 3 o'clock, Mr. Wisdom Bloody and Coley will join me. We talk academia. You cannot afford to go away because the nation's Heavenly J is on your radio. My name is Jala Emmanuel Greenfield. Or call me Kiang Barakli. Grab it Kenya. Small boy can't do it. One of the big boys, good man, big man can't do it. If the small boy carries it on a sunny day, he gets confused because the ray for the sun touches it. He gets blind. When it rains and the rainwater sits into it, it rolls down his eyes. But the big man will do it. The other hold it by his hand and carries. That's a waste of good people, big people. A child will never have that sense. So in Pele we call it Kiang Barakbe. And my other name is Nyale One Tokao. It's a only panel C on the head of the cat. A rat cannot play around. If a rat plays around it, then that rat wants to die. Welcome to the show. In Lofakanda, I'm called Zubo Woman. I'm the warrior son, the grandson of a warrior from the town of Zewa Damantown in Banyama district. But the people in Sanoye call me Kiang Barakli. Remember Jala Graphic chapter 1 verse 1. Let's talk and talk and talk and never shall we fight. Let's not fight, let's talk. Let's have our political differences settled on a dialogue table. We're getting information. The House Speaker Jay Fanadi Kofa is not buying out anytime sooner. But majority lawmakers on the other side say they will have their forum tomorrow. They will have session tomorrow. By all costs, they will have it tomorrow. And this follows the Supreme Court action to have them halted.
I pledge allegiance to the
The Supreme Court has asked them to abort all session. But I listened to my young brother Aaron for the family and others. They are on the majority block side of the House, and they will conduct business. Is that defiance to the Supreme Court rule or the Supreme Court order, rather? Many people's precedents have been said before. In the case of Edwin Melvin Snow, in the case of Ellis Jeneke Tyler, the Supreme Court spoke and they listened. So many people are asking why these lawmakers on the other side, the majority block, the lawmakers are not willing to listen.
The white on the flesh is for purity.
Then I'm going to listen to the other side. We have three distinct branches of government. Different functions, but they are equal in power. But is it an interference in the work of the legislature, as claimed by Mr. Koga and others? We shall be finding out. Let me welcome Mr. Otis A. Russell, Mr. Mike Ted Johnson, Vancity Davis. They all joining me on my live Facebook feed here on Pastor Library page. Showing allegiance, showing loyalty to the people of Liberia. The flag is our goal.
If my people who are over money, we humble themselves and seek my face.
And so Alfonso Toye's newspaper, New Liberia, is reporting. Alfonso Toye is an editor of the News Liberia. He's the editor-in-chief and managing publisher of the New Liberia.
Come to your rising, I prophesy.
It is reporting that two major factors. It is giving some reasons, rather, and it's pointing fingers at two former lawmakers. And one is former and one is current. Ellis Jenica Tyler and Fanny Bodonami Sherman as two of the people who are behind the removal of the speaker. Because Fonati Kofa was a chief prosecutor in the civil money case in 2016 when he was appointed by Ellen Johnson Sirleaf as chief prosecutor and Minister of State. And so they said, it's time to pay back. You were used by Ellen Johnson Sirleaf to expose us and prosecute us. Now it is our turn. We are in a driver's seat. Even though you are there too, we will put some money in that and take you off. Do they have the political weight? Where is Vani Bodonami Shama now? As soon as Kutu comes in and tells me that the guys are ready on the intellectual center, we'll go straight to them. But this is just an introduction of the show, and get ready for the discussion. Initials Franklin Imi Makaudu Loyabo is watching us.
To this nation, Liberia, the flag of Liberia.
So I'm taking a break for at least 45 minutes. I will come back in the studio and we'll have the discussions on. So just start doing your own research. We'll come back and we'll have the discussion from 3 to 5 o'clock. Let's join the OB from Central Monrovia, where Vanilla Patrick is speaking. All right, let's go there. Hello, are you there? Obi?
Thank you. Thank you, Tala Griffin. It's a pleasure. And we'd like to say thanks to the family of Voice of Liberia. This is Voice of Liberia, 104.1 in Monrovia, 89.7 in Kakatama, Gibi County, and 90.7 in Bankabon County. Folks, today, with the outside broadcast unit, we are on Kerry Street at the Center for the Exchange of Intellectual Opinions, seal, where Vendetta Patrick, a former senatorial candidate of Margibi County, is expected to appear and discuss some national issues at the center today. Folks, a lot of intellectuals have a sample here. A lot of journalists are also here awaiting the arrival of Vendetta Patrick. And Vendetta Patrick is one of those guys on the Spoon Network, and he often discusses national issues and considered as one of the intellectualists in Liberia. Vendetta Patrick also has a connection of the United States of America, and of course he has numerous of things he's going to discuss here this afternoon. And of course we want to say thank you ever so much, those of you just joining us This is Voice of Liberia. Shortly, we will join the guys who are discussing issues while awaiting the arrival of Vendetta this afternoon.
There's an English word called Gluttonious, and there's another one called ambitious, and there's another one called habitual. So gluttonous and ambiguousness have been habitual to the system of the lawmakers. And some of you who expect when we have an effort to how they can be moved to come to us, you guys are also better dribbling by them. So this is why we are skeptical to take the podium, to ask the masses to follow us soon. But let me just recommend to you, our in-person with other community dwellers, we gave 2 working days, 2 session days, with the Tuesday and Thursday to the lawmaker. If they can come to the senses, we will take the speech. Because they are putting the Liberian people business into a complete mess. They are putting the Liberian people business into a complete mess. And 2, gentlemen, the past political party that just left us, CDC, the current United Party, when we know everything will come, we'll never do better for Liberian people. Let us try for trusteeship or a military regime. Thank you.
Request for a military regime.
Military regime.
Request for a military regime. And of course, we are the center for the exchange of intellectual opinions. The guys are giving their opinion on national issues while we await the arrival of Vendetta Patrick. And of course, someone from Maryland County.
Thank you, Mr. OIC. It's quite unfortunate. One of the lead moderator in the Southeast, Maryland County. If you don't play the Liberia, you know the value of Maryland County. As such, when we come here, we should be respected. But we observe our Congo moderator and not doing that. However, for the issue, after the destiny they sit on, the purpose of the legal activists. The way they were people. Number 1, the constitutional power and the political side. Where we are now, the honorable representative are on the political side. They have said, our respected leader can speak for the outgoing speaker. We no longer enjoy leadership. So keep back the law. If you are fellow international politics, you know America has changed more than one speaker in recent time. Anyway, sorry. So you have the right. The speaker no longer enjoy the company of his colleagues. And one 2 from the 3 is 37. The speaker cannot do the Liberian business because he cannot be a caller who's a 37. So the best thing any person who believes democracy can tell the speaker, the other speaker is attack the law. You do not attack the law to lead the Liberian people because this code does still the job in this economy. The code of conduct is clear. There are no army man also being established in the past. Now President Boga has done that. It's important among the rest of the people, retire either for the government job or for the political job. Thank you very much. Go back to the speaker before our guest.
Another activist
It's our understanding our guest
raised his concern.
is en route. Be here in the next 5 minutes. Yeah, thank you. I mean, I do appreciate everyone
Go to the podium too.
for their concern. I appreciate everyone for their concern. You see, the 2 speakers that
about the forum today,
the 2 speakers that talk
where
about
the moderator
in favor of
will give some
military
understanding.
regime. I mean, it may sound so harsh to you because of their frustration. You know, when people are frustrated at times, they try to find solutions. And in their mind, they had a few. But I can also say that I don't think at this stage, Liberia need that. We have been governing ourselves in a peaceful atmosphere. It's just like we made a lot of mistakes in terms of electing our leaders. And we elect the next leader. We elect next leader on ground that God will come for hell and make a change. I want to welcome the man with the standing ovation.
Angela Patrick Jessup, and of course,
Angela Patrick, our guest for the day.
Angela Patrick, who is the guest just arrived.
On national issue, first national issue across the country, and to make his own talent position on the forefront of our country. So the Atai.
And of course, this is Voice of Liberia. Today we Kerry Street at the Center for the Exchange of Intellectual Opinions, where a lot of young Liberians have gathered to discuss national issues. And of course, we are also in the time of bits and pieces, where Jala Griffey has granted us a time where we will be and the time stay on Perry Street. We are a bit distant from the culture true. Sorry for the poor quality, because we are a bit distant from the culture true as they go about performing or entertaining the crowd. But however, hope to get singular from them. Still performing, and you know, this is obvious, and it's been observed in most of the gatherings in Liberia, where we will have to practice typically our culture, and of course the sound of the culture too brings about entertainment and reflection to the Liberian culture, the true identity of Liberians. And of course, the performance this afternoon is of no exception. This is Voice of Liberia, and of course we live on Kerry Street this afternoon. My name is Edwin Melvin Jua. The Center for Exchange Intellectual Opinion, playing host to Angela Patrick, a former senatorial candidate in Margibi County, who has come to share his perspective on national issues, be it positive or negative, regardless of where you come from, who you are, and what you think you are. And of course, those of you in the diaspora, Voice of Liberia is also live on Voice of Liberia Facebook page. And you can go there and watch live the activities happening here at the moment. While the country troops still performing, I'm seeing a brief communication between the moderator and Angela Patrick, and the lack of the officials having the tete-a-tete, smiling. And of course, I can see the flag of Papulu County, River G County, River Cess County, Brentwood, Margibi, Lofa County flag is here, Limba County, Grand Jiden, Bone County, Bomi County, Maryland, Grand Kipmo County, Sino County, Grand Paso County, and Masurado County flag are being posted up here. It indicates that all the folks from different counties are allowed to express their views and opinion here.
When you know the essence of the battle cry is not awake. Long live silver white apples and long live Vandala Patrick, long live intellectual excellence, long live master degree, long live take your pen and paper, long live you will learn new words, long live. Kokole,
and of course, the battle cry is being chanted. Earlier, he asked those from the University of Liberia, and he's chanting the battle cry, and all others are responding. This is an intellectual center, and of course, we expect young, brilliant young men from different universities, and of course, they have all gathered here today.
When Jeku Taku and Jeku say Jeku, I know you're in the battle. When your name is on our listing, before when Jeku Taku and Jeku say Jeku, I know you're in it. When Jeku Taku and Jeku say Jeku, Fandala and Patrick said Fandala. When Patrick and Patrick said Fandala. When Patrick and Patrick said Fandala, Patrick. No. Alita.
And of course, the battle cry has subsided. And we go to the
petition.
The moderator is set.
Thank you. And I highly appreciate. And in conclusion of my thought, again, I'm Ishmael J. Delani. And the big brother here, Pandera Patrick, is one person that I have huge respect for. I do also for mind giving, specifically lower mind giving, that is the Mamba settlement there as well. And yes, we are informed that a couple of our lawmakers, the name of Roland Opi Cooper, Clarence Gar, and those individuals, these are individuals who are against the removal. But those on grounds of which that the speaker should be removed, although they have been giving us a realistic, clear understanding as to on which ground that it should be removed. But however, as we stand, we are also saying that going forward, our president should do what is right. Are you also informed that the current police officer that were recruited, the last batch that were recruited, up to now you have not taken pay? So that is some of the questions we are facing. So President, President Bwaka should look into this and do what is right in the quest of us as Liberians. Thank you. God bless you.
Thank you, brother.
Thank you so very much. Tonight you have found 2 classes. I'm not living by the rules. See, I take a gavel because this gavel is the central point of our politics today. Go for this speaker for the gavel. Thank you. So at this point, we ask that you have your seat as we go into our program. Then you can sit down. After the formality, we'll ask you to stand. So we want to welcome and recognize Mr. Madrid, who has come to energize our platform, add additional layers of energy to the platform. Welcome and recognize the River Ethic, led by B. Brother Tia. Welcome and recognize concerned members of CEO, who is represented by Comrade Ba. Welcome and recognize my own senior brother, Walter Blambo, who has demonstrated a very handsome support over the course of the years, which I'm anticipating this time again. As we move further, welcome and recognize Sister Love from the United Party. Welcome and recognize our own sisters who is always around, preaching the gender gap. And then your last experience, when we talked last night, with regard to your last experience, we decided to redirect and re-engage. And I have to give you a focus person who was presiding today, Pascal Camara, who did a very handsome job to invest into mobilizations and outreach. So I know today you are here with a new narrative. The last time you went directly for Washington and there were America about ill treatment of some of our brothers that work at the American embassies. And I've been following whether it is rescue mission or rescue mission. I borrowed the phrase from you. Normally when you post, it is rescue mission or rescue mission.
Or Rascal
mission. Rascal mission. Whether it is rescue or rascal mission. I don't know why it's informing your thought and decision, or you will deliver on that. So we want to say this is you and this is your home. Your generations has created a pathway for young people like us, like you've been following. All change travel around the world today are led by young people. You follow the protests in Kenya, for young people driven. In Nigeria, young people driven. My most disappointing moment in sportsmanship, the soccer game, we were defeated by young people, Real Madrid, with enormous of energy. I have my most disappointing, and the most disappointing goal was scored by a young man called Lamine Yamal, who is mono-age. So today, there's a platform that you have created for us, your generations, we're the first generations of CEO member. And today we have the platform that's still moving and still growing. But regarding internal contradiction we have had over the course of time, but we stay putting CEO first. And this is why you have a very charged platform today, and the entire globe is listening and following you. I'm told there's live coverage with OKFM and Voice of Liberia and other media platforms. I welcome and recognize family who is taking charge of the battleground today. If you want to be inclusive, follow his lead, because he has already started drafting beneficiary of the battleground today. So veteran, I ask that you stand as we perform the ritual. Since this is your welcome, this should be more of your many visits, like you have always done over the course of time, whenever you are back home. So we want you to feel free.
Mandela Patrick is on the podium now,
after your presentation,
along with the moderator.
Today, while the sun
are above the toast.
we want to guarantee your full security.
And they are asking for the sergeant
You will
at
not be
arm.
arrested. If you are
The
anything
sergeant
here,
at arm is also here.
if you are anything you hear,
When I hear sergeant at arm, it
because
reminds
in
me
the third
about
ritual
security
of the
protocol
biggest intellectual platform,
at the Capitol
so
building.
it's honor our jurisprudence.
Mandela
So we say welcome
has his
and
attire,
your people.
and finally they have toasted.
This is what my dream.
They have toasted, and of course he will be given the mark anytime soon. He now has the mark and will take the podium, and of course they ask him the culture through to entertain a bit before they go through, before Ventela Patrick can elaborate. The culture through will have to perform a bit to entertain and usher on the podium Vendetta Patrick. As I told you, Vendetta Patrick is a former senatorial candidate of Marigibi County. He spent much of his time in the United States, and of course been following the Nigerian politics as well. So he has come to share thoughts about national issues today. So those of you just joining us, I'd like to say good afternoon to you. This is Voice of Liberian. We're live today on Kirish at the Center for the Exchange of Intellectual Opinions, CEOs, and of course, Voice of Liberia. My name is Edwin Melvin Juan. Voice of Liberia 89.7 in Capital Marigibi County, and 90.7 in Bankabon County, 104.1 on Capital Bypass in Monrovia. I'd like to acknowledge that our CEO Sekou Sharif is following the broadcast outside here. And General Manager Kutusao is also following the broadcast outside here. Jala Griffin, who is monitoring and controlling everything there in studio, because we are eating a bit of his time on bits and pieces. However, after the conversation here this afternoon, we will rejoin Jalan for the continuation of the show bits and pieces up to 5 o'clock. I'd like to say Voice of Liberia outside broadcast crew is being escorted by Eric Tamar, Ganti Weir, and Christopher Bestman, and the rest of the crew. So good afternoon to all of you just joining us.
for freedom. Nelson Mandela for Africa. Yeah, Kwame Nkrumah talking about it. Nkrumah said, African must unite. Some people say they want to interfere with my people. That's why Africans are dying today. Struggle, 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 struggle. Struggle never take nobody to survive. Struggle never ever give nobody to survive. Yeah, struggle, 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 struggle. Struggle never take nobody to survive. Struggle never ever give nobody to survive.
So, folks, this is a custom, at most of the entertainment centers. You will see people bringing up entertainment. They say, work without play, make Jack a dull boy. And of course, this is the entertaining part, and it's also historical. Giving you those top political items of Africa. The song is historical.
Our hearts are open. Our hearts are open. Don't mock in the course of the people. In the course of the people, storage can contain. Nothing later. Our people are dying. They want us to get the city cola. And to school, they hear you. Yeah, Pakistan, Mama, please don't forget to go and Senator school, they hear you. Sure.
And of course, the culture the entertaining aspect, and of course the battle cry is on as well. The entertaining aspect has come to an end, or has paused, and the battle cry is on.
Amanda hilo wa poroko atifela wetu. Libasia, Aluta.
The battle cry is over, and we move down to the podium where Vendetta Patrick.
Distinguished colleagues.
And there we go. Vendetta is on the podium.
Your undivided attention. The leadership of the Center for the Exchange of Intellectual Opinions, CEO. I want to recognize the entire leadership and the female generals of this great intellectual nation. I am indeed gratified and very satisfied to be here today to share with you issues surrounding our country. There's no place to be like being in Liberia. I bring you greetings from the campaigners of change, a civil rights movement established in this country since 2004. When I was just a freshman student at the Cardinal University in Swakoko, Bonkante,
We are staying in the business of defending the Constitution, holding people accountable, defending the rights of the most marginalized groups of people in society. Honorable ORC, a few days ago, I was here. I did not speak on Liberian matters. I spoke exclusively on American matters. And I said to you, the U.S. Embassy near Liberia violated the rights of our brothers and sisters by dismissing them illegally. America must speak and preach what they speak on paper. And I'm happy when the U.S. ambassador is a very good man. When he appeared on OKFM, Clarence Jackson asking whether he was aware of the violation of our dignity, our brother's dignity. He said he saw the open letter. So just in case, if you write, they don't respond to you, go public. It's guaranteed on our laws. Fellow Liberians, both on and bro, and those who are you listening to us tonight, this evening, wherever you are, I come today with an open heart. Many of you might be aware, as you said, ORC, 2016, February 28th, I was picked up from this platform, taken to an unknown destination where I was physically and psychologically tortured. But like I always say, we will never be intimidated by the frown of the billy goat. No matter how the billy goat frown is faced, it cannot deter the owner from selling it in the market. Today, fellow Liberians, Liberia is treading the path of 1990. It is important to speak to you from our hearts, not from our lips. The intentionality of our action to speak to a wide audience across the globe and in Liberia is meant to respect the Constitution of the Republic of Liberia and to protect its sanctity. Many of you are aware, after the elections, there were several persons that got disappointed. Fandela Patricks respected the will of the Liberian people. As a young man who left this country, a son of the rubber tapper from Firestone, grew up here, worked as a houseboy. During the period of the war, I saw my classmates slaughtered because they belong to a specific tribe. Imagine many of you sitting in the class and the rebels enter and they just pick few hands because of the name. And they took them to an unknown destination. That is the trauma I have. It is the trauma I live with today. I became a voice in this country. Not necessarily like many of you will write on Facebook, the man wants to be known. The man wants to be popular. There's nothing about being popular when your life and safety is at stake. We were acting in full concert with the law of morality and the Constitution of the Republic of Liberia. We were in prison many times in this country. Honor President Ellen Johnson Sirleaf, the political leader of the Unity Party, but then, because we criticized this president, we wanted this president to do the Liberian people's job, but others did not see us as key actors or stakeholders of our society. They took us to many prison camps. Today, if you see me using glasses, I was tortured in the prison of the NSA. I had to travel to the United States to advance myself, not to run away anyways. Comrades, don't be misled. I am saying this to all of you. I spent a lot of time in the US building my professional careers. I had the opportunity to enroll at one of the world's most respected and renowned universities, the John F. Kennedy School of Government, Harvard University, where I pursued a master's degree in public administration with the intent and desire to return to this country. I returned 2022, and I'm not going back. Liberia is a beautiful place. Fellow Liberians, for 9 months since the election of His Excellency Joseph Numa Boaka, Liberians have been greeted with poverty, desperation, rampant corruption, tribalism, and the rest. As we speak, fellow Liberians, my being here today is to remind His Excellency Joseph Numa Boaka. A few years ago, when he lost the presidency in 2017, he's on record of saying he survives on loan. Liberian people did not look at where he was. They brought him to power after looking in the face of His Excellency George Manuel Weah to say, Mr. Weah, we don't want you. We want His Excellency Joseph Numa Boaka. Fellow Liberians, as I drive on the streets, as I go into the ghetto, as I visit the hospitals, I see people languishing in poverty and desperation. Youth unemployment. They brought to us the arrest agenda. What I have seen within a period of 9 months, we no longer have an arrest agenda. We now have what is described as a rascal agenda. To debate what constitutes a rascal agenda when people deplete state resources, especially at the Ministry of Public Works, and they go to the Capitol building, and members of the House of Representatives pardon a career criminal and a thief to say, go and sin no more. It speaks volumes that is a rascal agenda. When the president of the Republic of Liberia, when the president of the Republic of Liberia brings yellow machine in this country and refuses to disclose the source, when this president is supposed to govern this country on the fundamental principles of dignity and truth speaking, and tell us he got it from a friend without disclosing the name of that individual, it speaks to us that that agenda is a rascal agenda. When the LDEA that the president took off to declare war against drugs in this country, and in few months there were human misbehavior, and this president goes ahead and suspend all the 3 directors pending investigation, and the investigative report is carried in the Zoo bush for 5 months. We don't know whether this president is in charge. It means that is a rascal agenda. Fellow Liberians, but the most important part has to do with the constitutional contravention of members of the House of Representatives. Fellow Liberians, make no mistake, what is happening at the Capitol building, it is a constitutional coup d'etat. And I want to remind the honorable lawmaker from Nimba Kante Permit me, if you are from Nimba, I am speaking from my heart. He's an honorable man. I respect him. Honorable Samuel Koga. The Nimbadians gave me education when I fled my Gibi. I landed in Nimba, a school at the Bishop Kara High School. I know what Nimbadians stand for. History tells me that the use of political method in 1990 or before 1990 led to the destruction of lives and properties in Nimba. After 34 years, one would assume that the leaders of Nimba will never tread a path to use what they are now describing as a political method to unseat, to oust, to remove a certain speaker. Let me make this very clear. For Nadikofa, as you are aware, we sat here, we mounted this platform. We have problem with Funati on several counts. The people in the United Party, they told us, but then I was against his appointment as Minister of State under the then Ellen Johnson's regime. But our brothers who are in power today, they told us it was unconstitutional to demand the removal or the deposition of the Minister of State because it violated the Constitution. We read the pages of our Constitution and we agree that yes, it is true. And he said, fellow Liberians, let me make this emphatically clear. There is a constitutional coup d'etat. The 42 or 43 members of our Constitution, of our House of Representatives, they are now acting in line with the provisions and principles laid down in our Constitution. If the Constitution was not intended to be applied against people and institutions, it wouldn't have been written. Today, I want to remind Honorable Koga the action by those 43 members. I'm calling his name because I have listened to him. I share his pain. I feel for him. I know constitutionally it's not happening, but we are reminding this lawmaker to use the Constitution. Article 49 of our Constitution says clearly, before you remove the speaker, you must have the number. I had a time to work at the Capitol building for 2 years. I am not a legislative intellectual, but I understand to some extent the constitutional provisions and principles. Article 49 is clear. To remove the speaker, you must have 49 members. That's true. They are 43. They are trying to subvert, violate, contravene our Constitution. We cannot sit here in this country to allow a group of savage individuals to violate the Constitution of the Republic of Liberia. The attempted removal of the speaker must fall in line with our Constitution. And let me just say this. Article 49, for those of you who are listening and who are here, it says clearly, the House of Representatives shall elect once every 6 years a speaker who shall be presiding officer. A speaker. I want you to underscore the word, elect a speaker. Elect a speaker who shall be the presiding officer. They did not say if you break away, you are 38. you have a presiding officer. That presiding officer is not a speaker. So elect a speaker who shall be the presiding officer, meaning the presiding officer in the House of Representatives is a speaker. It's unconstitutional provision. It went on to say, and such other officer shall ensure proper functioning of the House. The last portion of this constitutional provision states clearly, the Speaker, the Deputy Speaker, and other officers so elected may be removed from office for a cause by a resolution of two-thirds majority of the members of the House of Representatives. Fellow Liberians, the reason why we are emphasizing this, Article 10 of our Constitution is in violation. Article 10 says, and I quote, the Constitution of the Republic of Liberia and all its provisions and principles shall be taught in all institutions of learning in the country. Today, some of us, we are victims. We don't know our laws. And that's why we are prepared to be intellectually stupid. So when they are talking about constitutional issue, you don't know. They will tell you the law is the law. Fellow Liberians, I want to say this. The Supreme Court has written the group claiming to have a quorum. I call them constitutional plotters. They are trying to plot against our constitution, and this is unacceptable. I'm not using these words in a demeaning way. These are honorable members. I respect them, but it's about time we call them to order in line with what the Constitution says. Please, fellow Liberians, if you are in Nima, I want you to call your lawmaker today. This thing is not about Fonati. This thing is not about Joseph Parker. This thing is not about the VP. The protection of the Constitution is for the best interest of the Liberian people. We, as Liberians, we need to be very cognizant of the fact that the pages of history has never disappeared. Spoon Network posted an opinion poll as to whether Liberians want the removal of the president, not the president, but the speaker, or whether they are neutral or they stood by the 43 members of the House of Representatives. Fellow Liberians, I want you to go on Spoon TV and see the vote. As of 10 o'clock this morning, 2,537 votes were in defense that Fonati Kofa should not be removed. They should follow due process. The people who stood, the lawmakers, they were 1,335. That speaks volumes. The Liberians are no longer willing to tread the path of using political methods. Here is the most critical part. Fellow Liberians, let us be reminded the political debacle that President Wakamba faced. Article 40 of our Constitution is clear. It states that neither house shall adjourn for more than 5 days without the consent of the owner, and both houses shall always sit in the same sitting. The Honorable House of Representatives, they have adjourned 3 times. That means They have tomorrow to put their house in order. They have Thursday to put their house in order. Make no mistake. If they violate Article 40 of our Constitution, the President of the Republic of Liberia will be illegitimate to govern. In order to be President of the Republic of Liberia, you must have 3 branches of government functional. If one is not functional, you don't have a government. My appeal to the Unity Party, President Barker is in charge of the presidency. When he took office, the 3 branches of government were functional and they were doing business. For whatever reason, one branch of government is not functional. There is a problem. And the House of Representatives is spreading up. This is where we call on Dr. Tape, the chairman of the Unity Party, to talk to members of the House of Representatives from the Unity Party bloc to retreat, saying they don't have the number. We have gone 2 weeks. They say when you fight, you retreat, you live to fight another war. Say they did not succeed, let them retreat. There is always a time to remove the speaker. You have 5 years. You have 5 years. You have gone through these actions. You have not gotten the 49. And you are holding the Constitution hostage. The big question is, who will Joseph Numa Waka do business with? The Constitution is clear. 49 to remove the speaker. If they have the 49 today, I will carry a truck to the Capitol building to help the speaker remove some of the things to wherever he wants to go. Because we are the protectors of our Constitution. When you don't have the number, don't do that. Let me remind all of us. They will never tell you about constitutional provision. I have listened to many of them. I have listened to Comrade Famula from Bonkante. He's an honorable mayor. I respect him. I'm disappointed that Honorable Famula, a young mayor of my age, I am also disappointed that Honorable Anthony Williams, a young man from the University of Liberia, who defeated the second speaker. If it was for political expediency, Anthony Williams will never, ever become a representative for people Solican district, because Bafo will have used his political power, political method to remain in power. But the law is the law. I am surprised that these comrades will now try to use the Constitution upside down. Make no mistake, President Barker and members of the Unity Party, don't allow few groups of people to subvert the Constitution. They will cripple your regime. In the end, they say JMB did not do well. In the end, they will say the rescue mission did not do well. It's too early to have constitutional crisis. Congress, the crafters of our Constitution, they were aware that there will be instances where people will disagree. And they say we must have 3 separate branches of government: legislative, judiciary, and the executive. When you are president, somebody who is a speaker from the legislative branch of government or senate pro tem does not necessarily have to come from your party. just make sure they have the equal rights to transact the business of the Liberian people. But what we see today is a problem. For example, Speaker Snow, Speaker Talo, they mean how the word they are former. Former Speaker Snow, former Speaker Talo, and former Senate Pro Tem Ase Yinabo. When they were removed unconstitutionally, they went to the court. In the case of Snow, the Supreme Court ruled that the actions by members of the House of Representatives were in violation of the Constitution. To the extent the entire bench on the Supreme Court refused to attend the State of the Nation address in protest that they cannot sit under the gavel of a speaker that was imposed on the Liberian people unconstitutionally. Somebody say it's a political method. It is time to end this political method. All of them that are acting on the basis of political method, they do not depend on their political method, they depend on the Constitution. Liberians, this is a creeping coup d'etat. We should be ashamed. I am from Haiti. I am calling on Alpha Jews. Question number 2, where I hail. I am calling on Clarence God, who has been presiding. Imagine, Clarence God signed a resolution to remove the speaker, but at the same time, in that Kwasa setting, he's presiding. He's the accuser, he's the judge, he's the prosecutor. Is that due process? I'm calling on Honorable Koga. Honorable Koga, I think you are an elderly man among all these people. At school in Nimba, I know the values of Nimbadians. History reminds me, there was a time in our country's history when a certain president decided to use the political method. Your people were victims. Mr. Koka, even if you don't agree with me, the same political method you are advocating for today to remove the speaker, that same political method was used by one of our presidents, and your people were slaughtered. I know history. You should not be the one to be blowing that trumpet of the same political method. Use the Constitution. When you brought the war, your generation brought the war to us. We were innocent. They used us as drug addicts. My generation was used as instruments to destroy lives and properties. Today, when you go on the street, they call them soldiers. When will we rebuild this country? When our leaders are making the same mistake? Fellow Liberians, and those of you who are listening, both home and abroad, let it be made very clear that President Walker was elected to uphold the Constitution and govern this country. If we don't have the 3 branches of government functional and 1 branch of government is dysfunctional, the big question is, where will Joseph Wilmer carry the budget? Is supposed to lay at the House of Representatives this Thursday. So who will President Walker give a draft budget to? The argument has been the majority bloc. But let me remind you to read a constitutional article that talks about the intervention of the Supreme Court, specifically Article 26 of our Constitution. That article is clear. Comrades, make no mistake. In an event where the members of the House of Representatives cannot put their house in order, it is the prerogative of the aggrieved party to seek the intervention of the Supreme Court to ensure that the Constitution is interpreted. I don't know why the Supreme Court sent them a writ of prohibition. You can't make the law and interpret the law.